Good evening, councillors.
Good evening.
Thank you. Thank you. This meeting will be live streamed to the council's Facebook page. Persons attending will be captured on film except when seated in the public seating area, with the exclusion of the first row. Any speech will be picked up and broadcast. A firearms is not allowed. In the event of interrupted sounds, please make your way out of the building using either staircase to the meeting point in red light yard and await further instructions. Councillors are reminded that to avoid the risk of being seen as predetermined or biased, they should consider all debate prior to deciding on how to vote on items of business. Urgent items for information only can be brought to the attention of the committee with the discretion of the chairman of the meeting. No decision can be taken on the items not detailed on the published agenda. Finally, on this bit, please ensure mobile phones are turned off or on into silent. Item 1. Apologies for absence. Please.
None.
Please.
Nearly full house.
To the box. Item 2. Declaration of interests to disclose. Receive disclosure of interests and councils on matters to be considered at the meeting. The disclosure shall include the nature of the interest. If a member comes up there during the course of the meeting, an interest that should have been disclosed, they can do so straight away.
Right, Mr. Chair, I order to declare that I'm also a member of Connect North Cornwall and work with the group that are making presentations tonight. So that's just my interest. Okay, is that all right?
Okay.
Thank you.
Anybody else? No. Okay. So, public participation is to receive questions and comments from members of the public. Please note that decisions cannot be made on items not detailed in the agenda. And I believe we have some speakers.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair. Thank you very much. First of all, thank you on behalf of Councillor Bennett and also Councillor myself. Thank you for us coming along and speak tonight. We really appreciate it. The concept of this project that you see in front of you came in January 2021 when it first reared its head. When a working group from Northern Town Council was formed. This working group was called Connect Northern. I think that was one group. Since then, the group has concluded the need for a new line from Launceston to Oldcampton via the north side of the A30. That's what I mean. 2025 saw Connect Launceston change its name to Connect North Cornwall, as this would give the project more weight when talking to key groups like Devon County Council and Cornwall Council. Since last year, the project has grown in that we now have Cornwall Council and its leadership activity talking actively about the project and being actively involved along with North Cornwall MP Ben McGuire. The latest plan has grown since 2025 with what I call the Westminster Plan, which is coming from Ben McGuire, which involves building a new line from Oldcampton into Launceston and on to Bodmin. Still on the north side of the A30 with a new station in the Pennygellum area of Launceston and a new station on the east side of Bodmin before reconnecting on the current main line. We are almost completing our consultation process, and it's been 60 years since North Cornwall was cut off by the public transport system, including rail. We think now is the time to reconnect the region by rail and are supported by the groups previously mentioned, i.e. RMP and Cornwall Council. Obviously, with the new line being 95% in Devon from here to Launceston, we are seeking your support for the project. It should be said that at this point in time, we do not have an exact route to the new line, either from Oldcampton to Launceston or from Launceston to Bodmin. But to fill prove one thing. Anything is achievable if people in groups work together. Ellen, oh, fingers there, might want to say a few things in a minute, but I'm happy to take questions and I'll do my best to answer them if I do know the answer. If not, I will find out the answer for you. But if any of you want to ask anything going forward, please feel free to contact us via Councillor Ireland, who has our contact details. We will be having a public information event later this year in the town of Launceston, so please feel free to attend, and I'll make sure that Michael lets you know that you're more than welcome, because it affects Devon more than before. So then everybody questions. Alan, do you want to say anything about this? Or? You must. Not my chair.
I know it's very aspirational. It's a huge project. It's a very expensive project. But if you don't start, you'll never get anywhere. And we're inspired to do it as a council. The full council is supporting it. Cornwall Council is supporting us. I'm up to the Swindon to the railway conference. I'm going up to that. Really looking forward to that. And sort of just we're pushing everything we can. Lord Hendy has been met by Ben Maguire to discuss what we'd like to achieve, and we will make this happen. We will have the Dave Gordon tea rooms on the platform. It is something, you know, Dave started this when I was mayor, he was pushing it, when I was deputy mayor, when I became mayor, I made sure that we did it and we pushed it, and we were working really hard with Councillor Ireland there. He keeps holding us to say we can do it. We want to put freight on the line, that will make it happen, that will make it big. And by putting freight on the line, it will actually improve the line all the way from Exeter, right through Northampton, through to Launceston, down to Bodmin, down to Falmouth. You know, we're mining minerals. It's just going to join the whole of our side and make us important. Well, they don't know we're important. We are important. And we definitely are going to let them know that we're definitely important. So I would really appreciate our support to help us do what we want to. Thank you.
Questions?
Congratulations. Well, because you've got a vision and you've got everybody on board. I was on Oakwell from when it was first set up to a couple of years ago, so very much saw how something aspirational can become a reality, particularly when you get all that buy-in across the board, which sounds like you're really doing. So congratulations to you, and I wish you every success with it.
And I should say we are fortunate. We've got key people on our group, which is Michael's one of them, and Tim from North London area that have come over to aid us. And without their support, I would support. We wouldn't be in the position we're in now, but we are very positive, isn't it?
I am.
That is
Yeah.
very positive.
I mean, the format that Oakwell operated under is a tried and tested one, so it's really positive. I did have a question, if I can. Yeah, my question was basically, I know you haven't got specifics on the route, but is your ambition, if you like, to largely follow what was the historical route, or are you thinking that it's going to be a completely new
We have advised that the route will keep to the 8:30 as close as possible to get a fast direct route from A to B. Travel time was put 25 minutes, I think, is just that between here and Northern. It has to be fast, it needs to be a direct route. There may be an intermediate station, I don't know, Lisbon down, possibly, I don't know, it could be anywhere, but it's intended to be a fast, modern link between us and Exeter, basically.
But are you looking to follow the existing historical track, or is this going to be a brand new?
It's being unsafe because it's been idle for 60 years.
It's not fit for.
It's 45 minutes on the old tracks, and it's been measured. If there is no intermediate station and it comes straight from Launceston to Oakhampton, it will be 16 minutes.
You're thinking of the NSW line.
Yeah, the old routes that were, and to buy that would be very, very expensive as well, because obviously they sold for 15 pence, but it will be bought back at 15 pence.
Firstly, I am, I am absolutely blown away by it. Obviously, I wish you absolute success. But every time this has been raised, I haven't had the chance to ask a few fundamental questions. First of all, what is the cost per mile, and therefore, what is the total cost?
I know that the total cost to go from here to Bobbing was something like, we cost it 400, was it 400 million?
No. Well, like, only 15 bits, but
It's big.
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear.
don't quote me on that. I honestly tell you, I don't know, I've not heard of the full cost. I will ask that question when I get back, and I don't know what it is per mile.
Well, under normal circumstances, I mean, when someone like Ivan Barkington Brunel was working with his investors, which is what you're going to have to do,
Yeah.
and you're going to have to be the next generation of I.K. Brunel, you know what I mean? You need to know that fact.
Yeah.
And I would certainly like to know it because, you know, obviously, but Councillor Ireland can correct me if I'm wrong. I don't know of any new railway line that has been built in the last 100 years in Britain, and I do not know of any line except HS2 which has been promoted and built by the government. So therefore what you're doing has to be completely privately funded. It will have to be profit making, but at the same time it can't be run as a private line because you're connecting two ends of a public network. So therefore it will have to be built to network, you know, to BR, for want of a better word, BR standards, because you're going to, you know, it depends on, you know, through running. So it's got to be a main line in that sense of the word. I think, seriously, having lived in Spain for 20 years, where because they belong to the European Union, it's very easy to build new railway lines. I have a feeling that one of the most important things that you as a council could do would be hammering on the door of the politicians to say, please can we rejoin the EU? Because then immediately you get Area 5B status for all of this, and you would immediately, as I know for myself in Mallorca, you would immediately get matched funding for half of it from the European Union. Simple as that. So, you know, to my way of thinking, one of the first things you have to do is come out in favour of rejoining the EU and hammering on every single door to get that to happen. And then I think there's a fighting chance it might happen. But you've got to be looking for private capital, and I just don't know where it's going to make a profit unless Cornwall is prepared to allow itself to go through another minerals industrial revolution. And then I agree that if we're going to be mining lithium, tin, copper again in West Cornwall,
This is on camera.
it's absolutely essential.
Yeah. And
Okay.
you'll come to the MPs, I take our own board, we are in contact with the MPs. Our MP is in contact with the Labour MPs in Cornwall and the
Yeah.
Everybody's talking to each other like they should be talking to, including Lord MP, as my colleague has said. I disagree with some of the points about the European Union. That is very political. I think this is what happened before Britain goes back to the EU, personally. But the biggest thing that we've got going for us on this is progress. It's a must for Cornwall. Cornwall has got no freight line in Cornwall at all. And that's a big selling point. It puts our, Michael can correct me, I don't know the terminology correctly, percentage point goes up to 2.2 or something to make it profitable. We have done our homework, we have done all our homework, we're early days considering where we need to get to. And I appreciate the comments and we've taken them on board, believe me.
We will get, we have got someone who's put all those prices together off the top of my head. I cannot, but we can get that information for you. There is a new railway line as opened, and we have been working with someone who's given us that information. The Northern Powerhouse section are doing, they put an open new line, and that Adrian and David Hill-Smith have both come out and they're using different stations around the country that reflect what we have to see what we need to achieve so that we can get to where we need to go. But we will let you have the information from the financial side of it if you haven't got it.
And it's going to extend meeting of all the best hours. We've got one freight wagon on a new line such as this. It's 29 HGVs, 129 HGVs off the road. That's another reason why we should need to look at it. If they want zero emissions by 2050, then you've got to look, other countries will be looking at the same sort of thing. There has to be an alternative to going along the A30. But that's just mine.
Yes, yes.
This isn't a question, I just think it's amazing, really, really inspirational, and it's brilliant. It sounds like you're knocking on all the right doors, doing all the right things, and yeah, it's exciting, because like you say, there's so many reasons why, and not too many why not, I think. And yes, there's finance involved, but when something is needed and something is wanted, the money is found, you know, it always is, and so, just great, keep going.
Governments can find money for what they want to find.
Exactly. Prioritise what's important to them. So that's, I think it's really great.
The MPs want to get down to Cornwall and they want to get a train. They don't want to just land here in Northampton. They want to get all the way to Northampton.
This line can take 2.5 hours off the trip from Truro to Paddington.
Amazing.
And that's a game changer in any Truro.
Yes.
I haven't really got any questions because we spoke at length only a month ago. So, and I was very taken with the amount of energy that you have with regards to this project. It's obviously way overdue, and it's so nice to see that people in government are actually paying attention and seriously looking into this. So I wish you all the very best with this, and I will support you in any way I can.
And they're going to keep you informed by Council Island.
I've got a couple. Yeah, I think it's very ambitious, and best of luck to it. One thing is, I haven't heard Devon County Council mention. I've heard a lot of it called. So, why have you got feedback from them? Devon County will cease to exist in 2 years' time. So, we'll have some form of unitaries, which Cornwall didn't want to play with Devon as it happens. So, have you thought that far ahead as to how you actually start to lobby people on that front, depending on how it falls?
We thought we could venture over the border just to test it, see how we can fit in here, and then we're going to do further afield. We have spoken to the gentleman who was the mayor, the deputy mayor of Exeter, when he came to an event that we were having, and I was attending Tavistock's. So we do have links down the other side. So we do meet with the mayor of West Devon, and we do different things. So we are a little nightmare when we go anyway, so we can't quite carry away. So people do know who we are, but yes, I think we are now branching out. We've done the groundwork we needed to do and all the different things to make our plan, and now we've got to go out and get the support, and you're our first foray into getting people's support. So we just thought we'd skim over the border for tonight.
Yeah, I think you're actually preaching to the converted, because it's took us 20 plus years. It's probably more than that, but from that point, it's 20 plus years to get the line here. So,
I met Councillor Island when I was mayor, and I was going up on what was the old railway line, the steam railway.
yeah,
And I said, I said those fatal words and I didn't hear it was. I love from a railway, come to Oxford. And he went, well, let's try and do it then. And that's where, and then Dave goes, we need to do this, and this is why we've got where we are, because we've got a whole pile of passionate people who really, really do not want this
sorry,
That's all right.
generally, I would like you to come to our public event when it's there, because it'll be professionally displayed, other than one picture on the thing. You have decent speakers, you have the MP, you have conflicts of leaders, you know, and people that will hopefully change that gentleman's mind there, that this isn't
Yes.
pie in the sky, that it is actually feasible.
Cornwall Council have put £50,000 aside to help us with our feasibility
That's right.
study to get in, to get that recycled Lawson to Bodmin.
Mike,
So I might need to have a chat to see if you're all cough up 50 grand as well.
right, last one, which could be slightly controversial.
Properties.
So Oakhampton has been working again for years so that they come Oakhampton to Tavistock. Tavistock have been working for almost as long, for barely 3. Do you think this will take, or what they're doing now, will take the impetus out of what you're doing?
I don't think so. I think that they're wanting to look down the route of taking vehicles off the road, you know, and I think that that will be something, looking at the industry that's down the Plymouth side, that what feeds in, and I really don't think that it will pull, you know, will pull it away. I think they've got a balancing act to make, and I think that will be.
As I was going to say that in 1890, the railway made communities. There was employment, there was,
Absolutely.
you know, there was a lot of prosperity, and up to a point, I think there's, you know, even today, it would benefit communities. I mean, look at your railway and what the Sunbelt Council, you know, it's been amazing, and I think how many times have we congratulated Michael on, you know, what you've achieved as a town and what you're getting the feedback from it, and I think it can only benefit our North Cornwall District and North Cornwall in general. You know, it opens up the county, and it opens up, you know, back up. People will come to here again. Sorry.
I'll wait. I'll go last Friday.
Okay.
You sure? Yes. Definitely.
Yeah, just a couple of things really. You mentioned about cutting carbon emissions and all the rest of it. Well, this kind of sort of puts the ball in their court and says, well, prove how serious you are. And with regards to prosperity in the town, yeah. But I see this line as bringing prosperity to everything around it, all the way through, right the way through Devon. Because once you've got that link, you will get so many more people travelling by train right the way down into Cornwall, and they'll get to see how lovely Devon is on the way.
Stop in Devon, then they'll get back on the train, go down to Cornwall, come back and stop in Devon again. You know, I mean, everyone is going to benefit from it.
Yeah.
It's not just our council.
So we put the railroad. We were very on plan to the banks again, but I want to show you about that.
Yeah, thank you very much. Is this working?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, it is working, yeah. Well, first of all, thank you for your presentation, both. I mean, we know each other well, but thank you so much. I think it's so important to present your case across the border. The border is only is a kind of geographical and political border, but for this we have to have, as the map shows, joined up thinking, don't we? Which is what we're presenting. And I know our colleagues, at Westminster are thinking in the same way. And what I wanted to say, Helen, which you didn't mention, but I think you can say this, we'll be going to the Great Western Conference in Swindon fairly soon, and there we can network and lobby for this railway there. That's the purpose. I think you're hoping to go, Helen, aren't you? Yeah, so but that's this general Great Western Conference, so we'll do that. And we'll keep this going. Sometimes, like, what is it called? The Southern Line. They haven't changed the name, even though that's under a government ownership. So maybe they won't actually change the name, it'll just be under government ownership. I'm not really sure. But we'll do all we can, Helen and myself, at the conference to advance this cause. And it will do no harm for Oakhampton and Knudsen, and we need to work together. So I thank you very much for coming up and presenting.
Thank you for giving us an opportunity.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Would you like to speak then?
No, you can stay for that.
You're on, Dave,
Yes.
you're on the agenda, item 10, says, attendance to Bodmin Railway, item 10 on our agenda, if you want to stay, that's what I'm trying to say. You can't say anything, but you can sit and listen to the debate if you want it.
That's all right, we might as well.
Okay,
I
fair
don't
enough.
think this lady's eating today.
Okay.
She should come straight from work.
As you can see, I have. But thank you very much.
Cheers. Bye-bye.
I was hoping you knew about that one.
Yeah, all right.
Okay.
It's on Michael's, but it's not. It doesn't exist.
Oh, I've got it in mine.
It's SIC.
Oh, sorry. Do you want my agenda?
No. We'll find out more.
This is a surprise planning meeting.
Yes, it is. Okay, item 4. Men's questions. Oh my goodness.
And it's
It's, excuse me, Mr. Chair, but it's not so much a question, it's, I would like your assistance, okay? At 7 o'clock on Sunday morning, I was woken to find an excavator busily working, oh yes, an excavator busily working about 25 metres from our bedroom window, which somewhat surprised me. So I did my homework. In Oakhampton, Western Ipswich Borough Council restricts noisy construction activities to the following hours at the Barrack of Erpen. Monday to Friday, 8 till 6. Saturday, 8 till 1. Sundays and bank holidays, no noisy working permitted. So therefore I can say to you with some degree of confidence, and I haven't really taken it on board before, but they are busily working on Sundays regularly and making a lot of noise. So please can I pass this over to you as
Yeah, I'll take this up with enforcement.
and I don't know, I've certainly confirmed it with my neighbour that we were all woken at some silly hour. You may be aware that we actually live at the far end of what is going to be Watts Drive, right next to the site, the site area, and of course the site area is currently being turned into houses, and that's what we're talking about. They're working on the houses right next to us. Okay,
Yeah, I'll take that
thank you.
tomorrow. Any other questions? Okay. Minutes to confirm approve the minutes of the planning committee meeting held on 26th of January, 16th of February of this year. Those who are attending and happy and true reflection. So that's that proposed. Second, all in favour? Yep, thank you.
Are you happy to sign them at the end rather than stop?
If we want,
Yes.
okay. Right, planning applications to consider the following. 14126 TPO, tree preservation order. So this one's a Lando section Felter ground due to its evidence of stem movement and decay. And 2 birch section Felter ground due to root related to lifting of adjacent paving causes of trip. Have we had anything from our tree specialist?
Not that I am aware of,
Okay.
but he may have sent it to Emma and I don't have access to that, so.
I did have a communication from
Right.
said gentleman, and we were concerned, especially with birch, should a proper bed be created around the tree, then the tree could have its day instead of cutting it down, because it's causing damage to some paving which they didn't think about when they planted the tree. But he agreed said tree specialist, I don't suppose Mike said that he's been on that holiday. It's a bit baited holiday. Been putting it off for some time. Yes.
Well, I understand why they want to do it, and I don't see a problem with it. But when these trees are planted, was it part of the planning application? Because if it's part of the planning application, they'd have to remove it and put it back,
That I don't know.
right? Especially as they're running along the way, because they're going to use the as shielding.
Yeah, the
Like
birch is the like this. I can say.
even the birch, if it's been part of their planning, when they built the stand and the shelter, or whatever you want to call it, if it's on the planning, then they have to replant.
They should. I think when he comes back, he will probably say something similar. So the land needs to come back. That ought to be planted with a species which is more tolerant and British. And it's the other one, it's the issue. Yes. But I can't speak on his behalf. It's
I don't have too much problem with the layout around here. I mean, it's the Campton's Leaning Tower of Pisa, and I think it's probably not terribly safe actually looking at it, the angle that it's going. And so I'd be happy to support that one on the grounds that it was replaced. The birch, though, is there an opportunity for lesser works, like a root prune or something to be done to protect the tree? That maybe a tree person would know a lot more than I do, but rather than the actual birch coming down, I mean, they look as if they're fairly young. Could you put a picture up again? Is that possible?
Yes, so I was just trying to see if there was a planning
Yeah.
application for...
true.
I mean,
The
it's-
tree won't cut them.
Yeah, I mean, it's not, you know, it's not what I would call a mature tree, as in it's, you know, maybe I don't know, what, 20 odd years old or something like that. The clubhouse has been around for an awful lot longer than that, so.
It's certainly not recommended to actually pave around all the root system. It's asking for
And
problems.
I know West End can make a split decision on trees, so from my view, I would be happy to support the Leylandi coming down with a replacement of a more an indigenous species replacement.
We couldn't get
Yes, but the birch, I wouldn't support that one coming down. I'd support lesser works to see if there's a way to protect the tree, whether that would be a root prune or changing the way it's moves around it. I don't know.
If that's the proposal, Councillor Young,
It's a bit of a convoluted one. It doesn't make sense.
Can I ask you to repeat the second? I got the Leylandi, but I was typing that rather than this, trying to spell indigenous. I failed on that one.
So the birch, I was
Yep.
coming from the perspective of not supporting the birch being taken down, but lesser works, something along the lines of a root prune or improving the ground around it to protect the birch tree. But I don't know what the proper, I can't say that, tree person, specialist. Arborist, I can never say that word. Managed indigenous, but not arboricultural. There we go.
There's a lot of unpronounceable words
Yeah.
tonight, and I
Yes,
can't spell any of
I'm
them.
not quite sure what the right phrase is, but that's basically what I'm coming from.
Okay, so I've got there is
I'll second that.
all in favour?
Yes.
Definitely.
Anyone against? Any abstentions? One abstention. Okay, thank you. This one is 0642. This is a certificate of lawfulness for proposed timber frame garden in rear garden 34 Quarry Fields. So it is under what I read that I'm taking it that they have agreed a certificate of lawfulness for that particular application. And the other one is application for approval. That's the details we set recognition 5, Australian design surface water. Original planning consent. The life is gone ahead. Which one is this? Is one of the estates where they've satisfied that the drainage and surface water has been installed correctly. Just on that, it's nothing to do with anything really. For Parcel 4A, which I had to look at the other day, I've never seen such a massive excavation of the bottom right-hand side of that side. I'm assuming it's for the attenuation tanks. It is absolutely massive. Scary, really. Right. Item 8, planning authority decisions. It's going to be problems from which I can't do for. Yeah. So, some of them just goes through. I haven't got that. I don't know what happened. Thank you very much for that. Right. So the first one is special application law conversion, including door to rear. That one's been withdrawn. Placement of specific conservatory receipt storage. That's got conditional. Now this construction of food store. Now that one would be Hills, which was refused. Demolition of existing buildings, construction of new warehouse, that got conditional approval. This one I've found slightly difficult, so I found out to find out really why it was. Next one, which is finished. Household application for proposed rear balcony, which we supported, but it was refused, and it turns out because it's on the first floor, that then did give an overlooking view, but it was more to do with the materials used. It was all going to be metal, and it was going to be completely incongruous with the actual design architecture of the main building, and that's why they got refused. So two-story extension, once it's late, conditional. Next one's conditional. Certificate of law at Staple Quarry Fields and tree extension application, Oak Field, Buckcott Hill. There was no objection to that. Any questions? Yes.
Can I just ask a quick question on the food storage one, which was the Lidl's one?
Yeah.
It's saying that the County Town Council put a mutual resolution.
Yeah.
Because in the amount of flat the Town Council got on that application, I actually thought we'd objected to it.
I thought we did too.
Yeah.
I thought it was.
I thought we actually took an objection of a mutual view.
The original vote was to go for the neutral, which was me and not Richard Post. And it was taken as a opposing.
Do you remember when you did that? When the guy was here?
It was before the 5th of February, because the date of the submission has to be the 5th of February.
So it was
January, the minutes.
Sorry?
Might be the minutes of the 26th of January.
That's true. So you need to
Yeah.
check that.
According to this, it was resolved to object, so I will
Yeah, I agree.
mention to the clerk that that is incorrect. Yeah, that's right, I'm going to take it off that one.
Right. Item 9. 10. 9. It's because I haven't got a 10. I've got a number. I've got we have a 10. Go to the report on what's going on with planning, and you may well have already seen this. I think Western did make it public. So planning changes. Planning is making changes to which planning applications to be determined after the 31st of October. After that date, town and country planning, discharge of local planning authority functions, including regs, introduced a national scheme of delegation for all planning decisions. The government's objective is to introduce greater clarity and consistency in the role of planning committees as the development management decision taking. The intended effect is that there will be fewer applications decided by planning committees and more delegated to officers. The 2026 regs adopted two-schedule structure. Schedule 1 applications must be delegated to officers unless the application is one that is being made by the council or by an officer or a member of the council. That means have to go to the committee. Schedule 2 applications, which are the more significant applications, are subject to a presumption of officer determination but may refer to committee as a nominated officer. The nominating member agree that the statutory criteria for referral are met. Who's going to determine that? I still haven't quite got to grips. The council, as in Western, is taking time to work through the regulations and how it should adopt its processes to comply with them. They will then have all appropriate sessions to ensure that members are fully up to speed and involved in the new decision-making process. This is a fundamental change on how planning operates, which have no choice but to implement. Town and parish councils remain committees, and their comments on that allocation will remain relevant considerations. So this committee will stay, and one assumes if it's the planning officer making decisions, the planning officer will go out to consultees as before, so we'll still have time to make a decision. But it will not go to committee. It will be the planning officer's decision whether it's yes or no. I don't know whether it leaves borough councils or unitary councils in the future, how much input they have into their areas, if it's all going to be centralised, depends on how big unitary is. If it was one big unitary, it's going to be centralised somewhere like Exeter or Plymouth. And where does the local bit come in apart from towns and parishes? There's nothing in the middle. Don't ask an awkward question.
Does that mean that planning officers will be given a lot more power of decision making? So, in some respects, I suppose, I think that would speed up the process, but then also, depending on what planning officer you get, they can be quite subjective to what they think is the right thing to do, and that's perhaps a little bit more meaning if there's no checks and balances. Just have thoughts and comments.
That's why lots of things are going on now. I don't think people who make these decisions fully understand how it works now. So from a ward member's point of view, as there's been a Western now, if a planning application comes in, it goes through the officers. The officer gives it a report. Then they come back to the ward members and say, but we think this is okay, should go through. The ward members read through it, if they agree with it, they'll say, you have to write back and confirm you agree with that, and it goes through anyhow. Now, if there's something, if it's a real tight balance, and the ward members think No, I think it should be looked at by a committee, one or two people. Then we call it in committee. Now, I think that's what the government is trying to stamp out. Board members having the chance to say, no officer, I think it needs to be discussed more widely instead of just the warden can say, the officer made that decision. I can only think that's what it's all about. And it doesn't slow things down much because we have 5 working days to reply. Right, so Councillor, what do you think? Yes, he or she is saying yes or no. Go read the report and go back and agree yes or no. I don't think that's slowing down the process. I have no idea where it goes from. Only that this could be controversial. I'm sorry. Developers seem to be telling government it's playing this so everything can. We either do it democratically or we don't. Yes, sorry.
I've got two or three questions actually, if I may. Just thinking about this whole thing about calling into committee, I mean, I suppose it would save time in the sense that when the report needs to go to committee, it's a lot more comprehensive and takes a lot more time to prepare. The planning officers themselves, I'm not sure if they'd be more subjective because it is based on planning policy. It's only when, as you say, it's the tilted balance. But from what you were saying also, there is still an option for whoever that nominated councillor to be to call in. So I presume that's when it would be still on the tilted balance, or is it only for a certain size that majors rather than?
Yes, it
Yeah.
won't be the small extension.
So when we
There's
slot,
lots of
yeah.
all the minutiae that goes around our towns.
Yeah.
We won't have
No.
any input.
No. Okay. So I mean, they are
Well, town code.
very much policy. But that actually brought me to my next question, because if essentially this sort of layer being the opportunity for it to go to the West Devon or where its replacement might be, committee is going to be removed and it's going to be the planning officer, does that going to give, I think it's going to give the parish council a lot more responsibility to ensure our responses are policy based, but will that in turn give the parish council decision more weight? Because currently we can, we put in an objection, for instance, and if the planning officer can deal with that objection through the process, they will. They will record it in their report and then explain how it has been dealt with. But if that report at that level is no longer going to be something that's going to the committee, then will it kind of give more weight to the parish council or not?
We are still consultees.
Yeah, I know the statutory consultees, but I'm just
The
wondering.
only ones that really, I should say this way, seem to have most weight is Devon County and people like that. They listen to us, and as long as we stick to the policies, they should follow. We hope they follow our line. And this tilted balance is, as we stand at the moment for quite big developments, the tilted balance is, so this is 4 and that's it. The tilted balance is automatically like that.
Yeah, it's presumption in favour.
At first. And to bring it even up level is extremely difficult to do under present circumstances.
Okay.
And to turn it that way is almost impossible.
So essentially, as long as we do our homework properly and we are making policy sound decisions, then so it really increases our responsibility to ensure that. Because I think sometimes parish councils, not picking our count, I'm saying parish councils, and sometimes think actually that's really complicated, sort of kind of. So, which brings me to our last question. We have our list of planning considerations, material planning considerations here that we kind of can, look at, because we obviously don't have all the planning policy in front of us, and we don't have the benefit of all the expertise that goes with the West Devon. Is our current list then of material planning considerations still relevant? Is there somebody like, could the head of planning, Jackie, have a look at it? Jack's have a look and to see if they are still relevant to help us in our planning making?
I'll certainly check, right? I know that they're still wading through the new legislation.
Okay.
They've got these two schedules, and it looks to me like they can be mixed. But who makes that mix? Who does have to speak to exactly something that I have no idea.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, I mean, from my perspective, having listened to the changes, the last time I was a town councillor and on the planning committee, which was Ilminster in Somerset, and we were then part of Yeovil District Council. And because at the time there was a lot of building going on in Yeovil District Council, the way they operated was very, very similar to that which is being suggested. And certainly from my perspective, as a member of the planning committee at the time, it was very, very, what we had to say in Ilminster about what happened in Ilminster, it also had its conservation area and so on and so forth, was very, very influential with the officers and with the Yeovil as a whole. So that is one of the main reasons why I've been looking forward to the changes that that I support, simply because my experience since coming back from Spain and my experience of planning recently has not been as good as it was as far as I'm concerned 30 or 40 years ago. So what I'm very much hoping with these changes that we are moving back towards a sort of a process of efficiency and good decision making and quality decision making, which personally speaking I have not seen in the last year or two. Thank you.
The email that you referred to came out Friday night, so I have just circulated it now because I think Emma may have left by the time it arrived. So.
Okay. We don't get these answers much quicker as at the moment. I was going to under sort of under planning, but it's the stage of plan making for the new plan. So I've actually said, because it was still balanced, it's all to do with the fact that our joint local plan, some are saying it's out of date, some are saying it's got some weight, and some are saying it has now. The new plan, which was supposed to have completely finished in 13 months, they come out with the stage for plan making. So the notice was given on the 30th of April, which is complete. Scoping consultation starts. So this consultation will start on the 16th of July with a closing date on the 24th of September. In Gateway, well, this is a bit like neighbourhood planning. There is a gateway that they have to hit. That will be the 23rd of October. Then there'll be a consultation and consent start date on that at the 4th of February to the 24th of May. The 28th of May to start Gateway 2, see observations and advice from Gateway assessor, who that is from the government. Then they go to consultation on proposed local plan start date, 21st of October. That's Victoria. Yeah, very this year. And then we go into consultation proposal and closing date December 27. And then we go to Gateway 3, seek observations, advice from Gateway assessor as to how far they may gone as in March 2007. And it goes right through to Friday the 21st of July, when the whole submission gets through to the Secretary of State for Examination, independent examination. And if it all goes well, the new plan will be back in place by February 2029. Now the officers at the moment we have meetings, very few meetings to show where they got to. And it is so, each stage is so complicated. And they're doing it at speed. Because what a joint local plan took like 4 years. And all this is going to be done within 30 months. So,
JLP was quick. It was done, considered to be done quickly, those 4 years, if I remember right. Yeah. So you should take longer than that.
okay, that one. I have item 10, which
Yes, item 10.
is not on my
When I ask colleagues, do we have these two councillors, do you have item 10 on your agenda? We do. It's only our chair doesn't have it for some reason.
What would he need it for?
So what happens if the chair doesn't have it?
just not
I think he's running on a previous version.
Yes. Which went from 9 to 11. Doesn't have 10 in there.
Yeah, well, somebody, yeah.
Yeah.
Anyhow, it is open and bottom, well, link. So, would someone like to
But it's me.
any
I'm-
questions?
I'm-
and
I'm
complaints?
against that. My name's against that council reach. So I will introduce it if that's okay with colleagues, as it's my project, so one of my projects. So basically, I know from, you saw the presentation, I know from working with my colleagues who you've met that this is going ahead rather well in terms of the development, and as they told you all, the council in Cornwall are on side, and it's gone to, how can I say, the sort of rail ministers and so forth. So generally it's sort of approved on. One of the things that I would say, I just remember from the comments were made, this would be, as far as I can understand, a government-funded initiative. So just like the Oakhampton line, and then also I remember every time I've had up in Scotland, there was a line rebuilt in Scotland. I think it was the Borders Railway. I think it was something like that. These lines, if they're warranted to be a need for the community, are supported by government. So they're not really private. They're not, as far as I understand it, and from my experience. So that's what it would be. So that's what it seems to be the case. Now there's one confusion I want to sort of clear up with everybody, and that is, I think it's been said this evening, the Tavistock to Plymouth route and that activity is totally, this thing working here, totally separate to this proposal. It's a totally different thing. It's not the same route at all. And it's only, I'll talk in miles because that's what I understand, 4.5 miles from Tavistock to join the line at near Ulston, and colleagues from West Devon be able to help me, from the West Devon colleagues help me there, but that's it. Now what's very interesting about this is the way that this was gone about. I remember when I started working, when I was at university, and I was 60 at the time, started working on this project, the Oakhampton line bit. I remember then they were talking about the Tavistock Plymouth link then, and they never really got anywhere. And the reason we got somewhere, and the reason our colleagues from Colonel Connect and our colleagues that spoke just now, I think we'll get somewhere, because they're dealing more direct with government, and that's the way we did it in Oakhampton. And colleagues here that are on the council will remember when we had government ministers meeting us here in Oakhampton. So I think that is the way to go forward, and this is the way, as I'm on the committee, as you know, this is the way that I'm supporting and encouraging them to do it there. So that's working well. They're doing their research. They've already done, as they said to you, they've done their research on the line, on the route from Oakhampton to Launceston already. They've done a sort of different feasibilities and track they look at there, and then it'll go on to Bodmin. So I'm quietly confident about this, and what I would say on the just for your diaries, on the 2nd of July, Councillor Helen mentioned this, on the 2nd of July, there's the Great Western Conference in Swindon. That's the 2nd of July. So I will be certainly attending that, I always do. But Helen is hopefully coming along. So we will certainly be able to lobby for this line there, informally, as you know we do. So I'm quietly confident. So all I'm asking is that this council would give their formal support in terms of a vote to support this initiative. So that's all I'm asking, that you would support Connect Carol, as they call it, or whatever. So that's what I'd ask you to do. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Rand. I'm very excited about this project. I think it sounds fantastic, and I think it is a brilliant opportunity. It's still looking at opening up the southwest. Why southwest? Oakhampton, of course, would benefit from it, but looking at it from a wider perspective. What I don't want to see, obviously, is taking the foot off the pedal as far as the Oakhampton, Tavistock, Ulster and Plymouth line goes, which is perceived to be in a three-phase: Oakhampton to Exeter, then Tavistock to Plymouth, and then the final link between Oakhampton and Tavistock. But I can see that this particular project can sit alongside it, can run alongside it, and can actually enhance it, and they can enhance each other. That potential is there actually to enhance each other. There is an appetite for reinstatement of rail. Oak Rail has proved it is possible if you come together with a plan and get all the parties, interested parties involved. And it has proved that it is possible to do. So I would very much like to see this council would formally support it, and I'll be happy to propose that when the time comes.
You have the question?
I'm just saying
I'm just setting that.
right, so please.
I just have one question based on Oak Rail. So is Oak Rail still there to push for the link from Oakhampton to Tavistock?
Under item 12.6, I'll comment on that, because this item is about the Oakhampton involvement. So Councillor Leach, Councillor Leach, I'll comment under that under item 12.6, which is the
That's
correct
fine.
place liaison. That'll be all right.
Okay.
Thank you very much. That's very kind.
Right, so we have a proposal. Nothing. We have a second. That we back this. So all in favour? For vote? Thank you.
Thank you very much, Councillors.
Right, hoping Evans to say.
11 is payment of invoices. If you've got that, then we're running on the same numbering system again.
So, those of you who've had time to have a look through this one. There's one. There's one here, which is automatic doors installation of unit opening for 4,500.
It is the door between our foyer in the Charter Hall and the foyer of the cinema, and it is quite big
It is
metal
quite, it is, yeah.
doors with large pieces of glass. So, yes.
Any other question?
Yes.
I'm happy to propose them.
Can I have a say, please? All in favour? Thank you. Right, members' reports. This will be quite quick. We've got 12.1 citizen advice. I haven't anything extra to add to my last report. Them communities together. Councillor Cummings.
I'm being involved with them at the moment.
Okay. Yes.
to put onto the record, please, that on the 23rd of June, Devon Communities Together are sponsoring a conference which will be held at the Rougemont Hotel in Exeter between 10 o'clock in the morning and 4 o'clock. And it is the concept of the Digital Inclusion Group. The Digital Inclusion Group, which we are part of, represents a whole gamut of organisations such as West Devon CDS, Wellmore, the hospital, Derriford Hospital, and so on and so forth. All those who have an interest in resolving digital exclusion. And the conference is being held on the 23rd of June, and everyone is invited, although it would be good to book, because the Devon ICB, Integrated Care Board, have given to the Digital Inclusion Group the sum of £100,000, and the conference will be considering various ways how this money might be best spent towards the resolution of digital exclusion in the county. Okay? Not surprisingly, we will be making a major presentation which will be launching our project for the extension of our operation to go county-wide, and that will be, has been agreed today to be launched at the conference. So it's very exciting for us. Thanks very much.
Thank you very much for that.
I think Councillor Coleman has his hand.
Through the chair, if I might, Councillor Richards, we, as in the council.
Oh, I'm terribly sorry. Should I?
The Royal Week.
Yes, it is. The Royal Week. That is the charitable organisation, the CIC, to which Webclip, I just didn't want to, but actually, you know, it's Webclip that is making the presentation.
Yeah. And some of this definitely needed. I think trying to find those people who need help.
Thank you.
Okay. Allotment Centre. Whoever is.
Councillor Cummings, I think.
Sorry.
The issue is not people that can be missed, it's the issues of getting people to come forward and do the training at the relevant points, and that's where we come in, and that's why we're working with the rest of the groups to drive that forward, because there's so many people that are falling by the wayside. And I sat with a friend the other day, and she didn't know how to turn her phone on and off because she got a new phone. And she said, I was sat in a meeting and I couldn't mute it. Right. 55-year-old woman, very intelligent. She said, didn't know how the phone worked because it had changed. Didn't know her own model. And this is a common problem for people. And it's looking at the digital banking. I've just been registering with the NHS app. These are services that we provide free, and we always try to get as many people forward. And the people that are getting left behind is unbelievable. And it worries me. That's why I'm involved in this. But digital exclusion is far bigger than I ever thought it was. So that's why we're trying to.
If I,
Yes.
just one more question really on that, just randomly. Are there many people that don't wish to be part of it that you come across? That really just don't want any part of it?
Yes.
Yeah.
And may I say that in response to your question, that in itself is one of the major issue that the Digital Exclusion Risk Index for Devon identified in January of this year. this is, whilst I may make a joke about it, I have, and it's well known that I say that what many people in the town, including, with the greatest of respect, people who are represented around this table, would like is that if we could declare Oakhampton a computer-free zone. Now, this is not going to happen. In fact, the situation that we're in is going to become even more complex because, for example, whatever happens with local government reorganisation, many more of the services that people receive will be delivered digitally, and therefore I make no excuse for looking at anyone who says to me they're frightened of technology and that they don't want to have anything to do with it. Whilst I understand their point of view, I do not accept it. We live in the modern world, and I attended a worldwide digital conference on Friday afternoon last, and we are so far behind what is happening in the rest of the world, it is frightening. As simple as that. Thank you.
I've had a meeting 2 weeks' time, and it's about digital connection for Devonport. I sat in a similar meeting in 2012, where it was told the contract of the day was going to cover everything, all the laws, everything. And I think we're at on 4th or 5th contract. And I think that's what it's meant to say. How they're trying to fill those gaps. Because they've taken all the cream. Who's going to fill those gaps? And until you fill those gaps, it's no good being able to do the digital stuff if you can't see. So we've got to start something. We've got to get that right first. But I'll let you know how that meeting goes.
Do we come along?
Well, no, my meeting's at West End, so we'll get that one in my head first. Okay, thank you. Our health and well-being at Lawrence, I think there's one coming up.
Are we not Auckland Central?
Yeah, we missed one.
Oh, I did. I took it too quick. Yeah, Auckland Centre for my seniors. I've neglected the Auckland Centre the last couple of months. I must do better. But they're ticking along. That's the most important thing. The ones in Oros, they're very pleased that they've got a grant. They work for the writing to say that. Yeah, 12.4. Okay, gender area, health and wellbeing lines. I think that's coming up.
It is.
Next week.
1st of July at the Opera.
Yeah, and they made a point of saying you can't park anywhere near the cottage. So, yeah, park in the same walk or park in the car park if there's spaces, which they make be. But I stand in college. I come to Community District Community Transport Group, doing, I would say, very well at the moment. They've not only got more volunteer drivers, and the more volunteer drivers they have, the better they can serve the public. Because you haven't got enough drivers on the deputy road, and you have to turn down people. This last month and a half, it's been played extremely well. They're looking for us a secretary still. We think there is somebody who's interested. So we're questioning, I think it's on that one. Yeah. And then the other thing on that, I might have brought this before, they put in for a grant for Great Western Railway. and as a system, it was to work with Great Western, it was called the last mile. So people that are disabled who need that last mile to get to the train stations, for instance, then we would work with it. And unfortunately, it turned out for the time. So we're going to try and work through the bid and see how it goes. Yes.
Question, Mr. Chair. When you talk about the secretary, is that a voluntary position or a paid position?
No, it's not.
Or voluntary position. So it's the secretary for not in the office, but for the.
For the trust.
Thank you.
Okay.
Oh, yes, thank you, Councillor. Yes, right, a couple of things to note really. The Oak Row, as such, Oak Row Forum has been put in suspension, as it were. I had a meeting here, it was a week ago today at the station, and it was agreed there that a lot had been achieved with regard to Oak and Exeter, so there was no need to hold regular meetings. That was what they thought. So that was just, if there's something, a serious issue comes up, then it can be reinstated, resurrected and brought back again. But at the moment, we don't need to have all of these regular meetings. So that was just the point there. On the agenda, I would suggest now which I will come on to, on the 16th of July in Tavistock, we'll be holding the Rail Forum meeting. 16th of July, Tavistock. So that will be the Rail Forum, which will be, as you colleagues know, that's a, excuse me,
Yes, sir.
yes, okay. That's a quarterly event, so we'll have a meeting there, and our colleagues, as you saw earlier today, from Launceston will be along, and so it's a cross-border linking really, and the discussion of the route from Tavistock via Beerhongston to Plymouth will be there on the agenda. So the Rail Forum will become quite an important little event once a quarter for discussion. What I would also say under this item, that on the 2nd of July, Helen, Councillor Helen, who you saw earlier from Launceston, and myself will be attending the Great Western Community Conference in Swindon, and then I will obviously report back to that meeting on the 16th, but also I'll be able to bring a report back to this council when there's a time for it, maybe at the meeting. So see what happens there. But it's a really important event for networking, and as they're doing such good work in Nansen to actually move forward, it's a great opportunity to talk with different rail representatives. So that's really what's happening as far as on the rail front. So let's say people have questions. Councillor Rees, you have any questions?
Just to confirm that they are still pushing forward with the other counties at Tavistock.
What's happening there is it's basically the Rail Forum will be pushing forward for that. So at the moment, Oak Rail and such, at one of the meetings I was at, they just wanted to focus on Oakhampton to Exeter. I can say that to you. And the person that you need to maybe talk to on that is former West Devon official Bruce Thompson. Yeah, so that was the interesting thing. So that's all I can say. It was very interesting in the way they went into the politics of it, but that was their approach. So Bruce Thompson be the man to talk to. They're just focusing on Oakhampton to Exeter at the moment, and so they didn't mention that other bit, Councillor Reach. So that's all I can explain to you. But we certainly at the Rail Forum will be moving forward on that, and we've already got Tavistock and Lanston and us making presentations on that agenda. So that will become probably a more valuable meeting than it used to be. So I'm hoping it'll take up some of those points. So that's really what's happening. So yeah. So I just want to note the change from there, and as I said to you, the Great Western Conference, and I'll bring a report back to this committee if you would wish me to. That'll be all right.
Yes.
Can I ask a question of my colleague councillor? Do you have any updated information about the opening of the interchange station?
This is a very interesting question, which I'm glad you asked, because I get asked this question if I'm in Oakhampton, and apart from is it raining, which usually is, I get asked this question all the time. I say it truthfully, I probably get asked that, and I'm in town 3 or 4 times by people. But it's so all I can say to you, and genuinely, and without being, too flippant, is that the earliest date that I've heard, Councillor, is the 5th of July. But I am not 100% sure about that. But when I go to the Great Western Conference, I may have more information for you. And what I tell people when they ask me, as they do in town, I say, I'm going to Great Western, I'll try and get more detail there. So I'll try and do my best for you there. All right?
Thank you very much.
That's my pleasure.
I believe as far as I know, it's July. When the testing starts. If you test this week in September, then it's fine. Yes.
I just want with the changes that are going on. I was just wondering if, because I've known from it for a while, if Denrail Forum is still running out of County Hall, and if you are still attending in your capacity, because when you were as chair of Rail, that may have changed, or
in reply to your question, Councillor Yellen, no, I haven't heard from them or about their agenda, so I don't really know. I've not heard. They seem to have gone rather silent, but they used to be going under the old council. But I haven't heard. So it's a good question, and it'll be in the minutes. I can take that up, can't I, and try and find what's happened to them, because they've gone a bit silent, I have to say. So, there's another one I want to say to you, because you're probably thinking this. There was something called the Peninsula Rail Forum. Meetings I've been at, that seems to have gone a little quiet. I don't know quite why, but that has. So, we try to keep going under the Rail Forum and attending the conferences, the national conferences, and trying to feed back through that. But these 2 other organisations were rather larger and outside us, and maybe they seem to have lost a bit of focus, but that's only my personal opinion. But thank you for asking the question, both, and I will investigate it a bit and try and get back to you. Thank you very much. So,
Yes.
I was just wondering, you said about the meeting on the 16th of July, and what time would that be?
that meeting is 10:30,
Thank you.
and it's in the Tavistock, like this, council chamber. Okay, but it's useful there because it's useful because it helps us, our friends who met this evening in Launceston are a bit closer, and so it just brings them together a bit easier. So and maybe we're going to have one next one we're having Launceston as well. So it's like moving them around. So that's really, is that okay? So thank you very much.
Okay. Thank you very much for that.
Thank you, Councillor.
12:07, the Squirrel Market Town Group. That's next meeting is again in July. I'll report once we've had that. So if we can first move into part 2, so I've got 2 minutes.
Oh yeah, okay. Right. So yeah.
So the committee passed the following resolution to resolve that section 1 brackets 2 of the public policy admission to meetings. Act 1960 that the public has to be excluded from entering the following items which are confidential by virtue of relating to legal and or commercial matters, staffing and or financial or business affairs of a council or persons other than the council. Can I have a vote?
Yeah, I'll propose that. Thank you.
Second, all in favour? I've got a couple of things I'd like to